And now back to Creekside Sports with Daniel Shirley and Steve Norris.
Welcome back. Daniel Shirley, Steve Norris alongside. It's time for our Mayhem in the Morning segment. We have two guests here in studio. Coach Dave Pszenyczny. Did I get it right?
Getting there.
I'm getting there.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a sh in the snitch part.
Pszenyczny.
I'll get there by the end of the season, I promise.
We have Coach P here.
Well, Coach Chesney. You told us, Coach Chesney.
Chesney works.
That's
Chesney
right.
works.
And Taylor McCloy, new assistant coach with the team. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We're great. Welcome to Central Georgia. You just were announced, what was that, Tuesday or Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
That you were joining the club. How excited are you to be here?
I'm very excited. Obviously, the new ownership, Chuck. I know him for the past couple of years now, so obviously he's a great guy to be coming in. And then Coach Chesney, played for him my first year pro hockey, so obviously a little bit of familiarity there. So yeah, I'm excited.
How does that help his message to the players? You know it as a player. How does that help you translate what he wants to the players?
I mean, Dave's a smart hockey mind. He's got his X's and O's, and I think we all, everybody brings a little bit something different to the table. So it's nice that we can kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And I just think it's going to be a good partnership, obviously knowing one another. And like I said, he's a smart hockey mind. He knows what he's talking about. So yeah, just excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to get the season here. Now, Coach, you guys, the players are in town now, right? And when do you guys get going with practice?
They're slowly trickling in and getting settled into the where they're living, and we're going to get going here on the 8th. Maybe a little testing before that, the day before, but the guys should be prepared. The off season's time to make your biggest improvements, and we're going to see what they're all about.
What is the testing? What does that involve? Is that just
a little bit of skating?
Okay.
It's just basically for us to understand where they're at, how many minutes they're going to be able to play. If a guy was, saying, "Hey, coach, I'm going to play a lot. I want power play, penalty kill. I want to play, 20 minutes a night." Well, then we're going to know if you're going to be able to handle those minutes pretty early.
Yeah, no doubt about that. When you look at the start of the season, obviously you want to win every game, but is it more important to learn the new team early than maybe winning every game? How do you juggle those two early in the season?
Well, let's be honest. You can't win the championship in game one.
Right.
It's a slow process with the 56-game schedule, and then you have your, best of 3 playoffs, so anything can happen there. But, the idea is that every week you want to get points. Whether there's 2 or 4 points on the line, depending on how many games you play, you have to pull points out somehow, some way. And, in a 3-3, you set goals. Hey, we're looking at some pretty tough, opponents. Let's be realistic here. Is 5 out of 6 what we're looking for? Is it 4 out of 6?
Right.
Because sometimes the scheduling doesn't really add up, but you try to prepare your bodies as best as you can to grind through there. And I'm sure Taylor, being most recently removed from the game, could kind of attest to that.
Yeah, Taylor, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think every coaching staff, every team, like Dave said, has their mindset on what goals they want to achieve, whether, like he said, 4, 6 points, 5 points, whatever it may be. You have realistic expectations going in. It is a grind. It is tough, if you're playing in a different city every night. But I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's tough. It's a tough league. But I mean, that's, like Dave said, the whole point of off-season training is to get your bodies right, get comfortable, and then we obviously have treatment and whatnot afterwards to kind of get your body feeling great after the game and get ready for the following day. So I mean, the expectations are there. We'll obviously set those for what we want, and the players, nobody likes to lose. You're not in the game to lose. You're there to win. So the players themselves are going to set those expectations. We drop the X's and O's and give them a game plan, and they got to execute.
Taylor, you told us you play for Dave. Tell us a little bit more about your background so people can know
high
more
school, college.
Canadian born and raised about an hour north of Toronto, small town, small lake by me. So I grew up with the skates on, basically down out there. A few dads around.
So y'all
there.
grew up not far apart, because you said you grew up in Detroit, right?
Yeah. So I actually played major junior hockey in Barrie, so that's
45 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so just like I said, Canadian kid, a lot of dads in the areas would help, Zamboni the pond, whatever, put trees around so the wind wasn't coming in and putting too much snow on it. But I mean, I just grew up loving hockey. Ended up playing junior hockey, which I didn't really think was going to happen at the time. I didn't really know where to go from where I was. I just enjoyed the game. Ended up playing junior hockey about 30 minutes from my hometown in Aurora for 3 years. Continued on from there. Went to school in Michigan, actually in Adrian, Michigan. Was there for 4 years. Division III school. We were a powerhouse there, had a lot of good years. Went to the Final Four twice, the Elite Eight twice, and then I continued on. Like I said, didn't really know what to expect. Wanted to play pro hockey and give it a shot and see where I stood. And obviously, I went to the Quad City with Dave. It was a tough start, obviously, brand new team, same thing, brand new franchise. So we kind of struggled off the start, but then obviously Dave turned Quad City into a great team, what they are now. But yeah, I mean, like I said, just grew up loving the game, and needless to say, that's why I'm here coaching. I still love it. I still think I could play, but I wanted to kind of transition into the coaching staff and kind of see what this route's like. So I'm excited. And like I said, Dave's a great mentor to have. He's been in the game for a long time, playing Major League Junior and coaching now for the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm just happy to be on this coaching staff and kind of turn this thing into something special.
So this will be your first year coaching?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was telling Dave last week. So my dad was a pilot in the Air Force. I'm a Southern boy at heart. But my sophomore year in high school in 1986, we got transferred to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We had KSR Air Force Base up there. And my friends up there introduced me to Northern Michigan University hockey. And that's when I realized how big hockey is up there. I was telling him, I was like, people down here in the South, the best way I can describe it, it's the way they see like high school football. Mm-hmm. It's just huge up there. And there was literally 5,000 people at every game, and packed to the gills. And I just didn't realize how popular hockey was until I moved up there, right?
Yeah, hockey, from a Canadian standpoint, hockey was originated there. It's, anywhere you go, a few years back, junior rinks were always packed. Again, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been to a junior game in a few years now. But, the local town always came to support local teams, so it was awesome. Multiple arenas were packed. It's just, that's kind of like you said, it's down south football, right? Football is your number one. That's what it is in hockey, I think, in Canada, and same with Michigan, kind of closer than the north, but yeah, it's great support, and yeah, it's just a fantastic sport once you get to learn the rules and everything. You understand a little bit more in depth. It's just such a great sport to watch. It's not like a game of football where there's going to be a lot of high scoring games. It could be a 2-1 game, but when you understand the game of hockey, a 2-1 game is a fantastic game to watch. 7-6 games, also a fantastic game to watch. So it's just I just think it's top-notch sport.
And what a lot of people down south don't understand is the conditioning involved in playing a hockey game.
Yeah,
it's like boxing. People don't understand. You go out there and wail for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you're dead. Hockey, the same thing. You go up and down that rink a couple of times. It's hard. It's as hard as basketball or harder.
Yeah, the standard is a 45-second shift, right? I think at a young age, coaches try to drill that into you, 45 seconds, because you are pretty exhausted at that point. So, you spend 45 seconds out there. Obviously, you get stuck out a bit longer, but, you see longer shifts. If you get stuck in the defensive zone, you see guys slowly start to wear out a little bit. So, yeah, you kind of cut it off at 45 seconds, but it's a hard sport for sure.
Dave, when you see guys at the end of their shift, can you tell, like, hey, we got to get him off, or how do you?
Yeah, I there's always certain things in the system that you can implement. Like, hey, there's going to be times where we're hemmed in the defensive zone, and this is how we're going to play to kind of rest up a little bit and cut our losses, right? And then you're trying to line change, and we were just actually talking about it. And I look at line changes as running bases in baseball, right? Like, you see the great teams in the MLB who they're good at base running, and it looks like they practice it, and then you see teams that aren't very good at it when it's like, hey, right, you should be getting to this base, right? So, yeah, that's all, worked through in practice, and I know coaches have different, styles of play, but, at the end of the day, it's, trying to get these guys with the limited time we have. We're 15 days out, and we still haven't touched ice with this group yet, and we're not going to be able to touch ice with them by league rules till the 8th, right?
Wow.
And that's league wide. So it's very imperative that these guys are in shape and ready to go, because we can't worry about the conditioning side once we get going.
Yeah, you can't. You're behind if you start doing that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you do that throughout the season when you get some breaks I know we have a weekend off later in the year. We also have a one-game weekend where we're on the road. But, for the most important part, it's the onus is on the players as being professionals to make sure that they're keeping up their conditioning.
We asked Taylor what it's like working for you. What's it like having him on your staff, a guy well?
Yeah, I think Taylor's going to be blown away. I mean, when he said the nice compliments about me, I mean, he hasn't seen me in 5 years as a coach. And when he had me, or when I had him, I was just fresh out of playing, right? Not far removed from the game, and I've grown, as a coach, and he's grown as a player, and has played for other coaches too. So it's always nice as a coach, because you always reflect back on the coaches that you had throughout your playing career, and there's certain things that you like and certain things that you didn't like, and you kind of just blend that and put your own spin on it. So really excited to get with him and really hammer in what we're going to be going to achieve, because I have an idea, but with him on board and obviously Phil Esposito, we're really going to hammer this in. And like I said, this is the first year I truly have a proper coaching staff, because before in Quad City it was just basically me running the whole show.
Wow.
And sometimes things get neglected because you're a one man.
Yeah.
Now there's things I can delegate and let those two have ownership of.
And you guys will start practice on the 8th. Really
That's right.
excited to get the season here. Well, we appreciate you being here, Dave. Thanks for being here last week and this week. Taylor, welcome
thanks,
to
guys.
Central Georgia, and welcome to the show. And we appreciate everything. Thank you, Graham, for setting this up. Graham is with us as well. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're got to get Chad Bishop on the phone, talk some Georgia Tech football. We will do that right after this.